Welcome to what was a wet and rainy Birmingham, Alabama, but now the sun peeking out. Let's hope it stays that way as we get ready for an FCS matchup between two teams separated by less than 90 miles. It's the Alabama State Hornets taking on the Samford Bulldogs here at Bobby Bowden Field at Pete Hanna Stadium. I'm Blake Gardner. I am a play-by-play commentator here in Birmingham, Alabama, and the play-by-play voice for Samford football on ESPN+. The ASU game was interesting in the sense that it wasn't your typical Samford game, right? I think anybody that's been around the Samford program knows about the hatch attack, knows about the high-powered offenses, and even though Alabama State has a really good defense, and it looks like that's going to be the case again this year, I still think a lot of people expected Samford to go out there and throw up a bunch of points, and that's just not the kind of game it was. I mean, Samford got a couple of scores, but then really leaned on their defense, especially in that second half. And credit to that side of the ball, that Samford defense that had its ups and downs the first couple of weeks. For them to play like they did in that second half and hold Alabama State to one score the whole game and basically nothing after halftime had to be really encouraging for that staff and that side of the football in particular.
My offensive lineman just making a way for me, making a hole, give me that extra push. I felt somebody push me from behind. I don't know if it was QC or one of my linemen, but, just everyone, not even me, just wanting to get in the end zone, wanting to score, just wanting to do everything it takes just to win the game.
Well, first, the new field was outstanding. The turf has been great. We have great footing. It's a lot softer than our old field. The crowd was outstanding, a tremendous atmosphere, even in the face of ominous weather, I guess is the way you would put it. It looked like it was going to storm all the way up to kickoff, but we were blessed with a beautiful night. I think that our guys were very physical in the game. We found a way to win by playing really good special teams and great defense. And I'm really proud of our guys, and I like the way we won. A close game right there. We got some work to do offensively, but again, a win is a win, and they're very difficult to come by, and we celebrate them each and every time we get one. Well, having a bye week is always nice. You get to work on some fundamentals, some things that you must improve on in order to be successful throughout the remainder of the season. Ours comes a little earlier this year than it has been in the past, so we've kind of had to adjust. We actually worked the players a tad bit harder during this bye week than if it happened later in the year. So,
yeah, it's very different. I mean, I don't know, some teams prefer having a really early bye week. Some teams prefer having a later bye week. I think for Samford in particular, having an early bye week gives them a little bit of a reset after the first few weeks. What do we like about this team? What do we not like about this team? What tweaks or changes do we need to make going into a stretch of conference play where you're no longer going to have that bye week, right? You're going to be playing. Furman has turned into a rival. I know Samford fans of all ages have kind of considered the Paladins a rival for quite some time now, but especially on the football field, given how strong these two programs have been over the last few years, given how many tight games they've played over the last few years, it seems like that rivalry on the gridiron has only grown. I mean, go back to the last time these two teams played in Greenville. It was a one-score game. There was controversy on the field from a refereeing perspective. Samford picks up a big win, and that powers them eventually to a Southern Conference title and an FCS playoff appearance. And then you go back to last year, almost a similar thing, but in reverse. Furman comes to Birmingham, wins a gritty, grinded-out one-score game, and eventually that powers them to the FCS playoffs a few months later. So it feels like a game of the utmost importance, even though it's this early in the conference slate, because it could really give you an idea of which of these two teams could ultimately contend for the Southern Conference title.
I'm joined by the top Bulldog himself, Coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday's game against Furman was postponed due to Hurricane Helene's effects, and the devastation of that storm is being felt in several states in the southeast, with potentially over 100 people losing their lives, many others displaced, entire cities wiped out. And Coach, in situations like this, it really puts life in perspective to realize at the end of the day, we're just playing a game here.
Well, that's correct, and we talk all the time with our guys about Samford football has this many opportunities to play. Doesn't mean we're going to all be there coaching or playing, but we have this many opportunities, and to be gracious for those, and then having a game that was postponed like the one versus Furman on Saturday makes it a little more real for the guys, that we better enjoy the opportunities that we do have. But of course, our prayers go out to all the people affected by the hurricane. I have a lot of friends that have been displaced through the state of Georgia, especially in Valdosta, where it was probably one of the worst storms they've had in over 100 years there. But again, you are correct. As important as we all think our jobs are, at the end of the day, it is a game, and the most important priority for us Friday and Saturday, when all the decisions were being made about the feasibility of playing the game, was the safety of our student athletes.
Yeah, VMI is an interesting team, right? Obviously, it's a very tough job, a very tough environment up there. Samford probably happy that VMI is coming to them this year rather than making that long trip up to Virginia. VMI is a frisky team. I mean, they basically had no expectations a year ago, and were really surprised a lot of teams up and down the Southern Conference slate back in 2023. Now here in 2024, they've played a few different quarterbacks. They're awfully young on both sides of the football, so they're a team that's still trying to find their footing. Samford, a heavy favorite against the Keydets, and you would expect the Bulldogs to take care of business against this team.
Back of the end zone, that is caught. Touchdown Samford, and E.J. Mason with his first touchdown grab of the year. And he'll put it back in the air here on first down. Crittenden looking for the end zone. He's got a man. That is caught. Brenton Jenkins, an 18-yard touchdown. And Quincy Crittenden's got his second touchdown pass of the day. Against pressure, Hammonds fires, intercepted. Picked off by Midnight Stewart, who's off and running inside the 5. Takes the snap, wants to throw the fade to the back pylon. That is hauled in. E.J. Mason has his second touchdown of the day.